Hello and welcome to UMACathletics.com. I'm Don Westfall, Director of Athletics here at Bethany Lutheran College, and today we're going to talk about men's golf. In fact, it's championship time, as this weekend at the Jewel in Lake City, the UMAC will host its men's golf tournament championships. And joining me for a brief discussion this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you're watching us, whatever it is, we're glad you're with us, and we're here with Daniel Mundahl, head coach of the Bethany men's team. Been a very successful team so far this season, Coach Mundahl. Looking at your records overall, I believe 26-1 in the conference against opponents, 29-4-1 overall. Certainly you would deem yourself one of the teams to beat in this weekend's tournament. But before we talk about some of the other teams you'll be competing against, let's talk about your team a little bit and who's kind of led the charge for the Vikings this year.
The biggest leader this year for the Vikings has been Jonathan Pedersen. He's won 4 medalist rounds, been UMAC Player of the Week twice, has really stepped up to the plate in his games come forward. Another person has been Joshua Pedersen, who's improved his scoring average over from last year at about 4 strokes per round. Third person to step up to the plate would have been Austin Snow. Austin Snow as well has been 2 to 3 strokes better this year than he was last year. Obviously, Andy Aukus and Sammy Bollinger, who are on the team, have also been contributing from time to time. We're going to need all 5 of them to have their A game when they come next week if we want to walk away a winner.
You guys like the role, obviously going into the season as it's trying, kind of taking its course of itself over the past 5-6 weeks. You pretty much have identified yourselves as one of the teams to beat. Do you kind of like that? That I don't know if you're the definitive favorite, but you're certainly one of those teams in contention. Do you guys like that position at this point?
The team looks at themselves and says, okay, we've won a number of different matches, but they're not necessarily overly happy with themselves. They know they've left things out in the course. They know they can play better, which I like that hungry attitude and stepping forward and going into the conference tournament. And I think to a certain degree, they'll continue to feed on that, knowing that they have the capability of winning it all and taking it, but stay focused on the game and making it happen.
All right. Well, again, the Vikings have been one of the teams that have routinely been at the top of the leaderboard all season long, but there's been a number of other teams in contention. Some have continuously gotten better as the season has gone on. Teams like Morris and Northwestern have gotten better, and certainly another team that has to be mentioned in that kind of the role of one of the top 4 favorites would have to be Crown.
Crown's been our toughest opponent this year when you look at the different head-to-head matches. Why we've won 3 out of 4 of them, 2 of them only by 1 stroke. Reed Sorensen, their lead player, Marcos and Jose, who are 2 members of their team, Tom Mensner, who's a new freshman this year, have all been playing very well, right along with Bethany Lutheran College. And again, when you get to the conference tournament, 3 good scores 3 days in a row out of everybody, no matter who you're looking at, whether it's our team or something like Crown, North Central, Northwestern, or Morris. If they step up for 3 days, they can come out a winner in the end.
So you have the players to contend with, but you also have a couple of other factors to work in there. The course itself, the Jewel, and also the weather. Let's talk about the course itself up at the beginning. Everybody got a chance to look at that off the top of the season back at the preseason tournament. How does the Jewel set up as being a really good test over a 3-day period to determine that UMAC champion?
Well, first of all, it was a course designed by Hale Irwin, and so as a professional, he put some different things in the course, taking the natural beauty, running it in and out of the valley and through the trees, and taking the natural resources that Minnesota has to offer. It isn't a flat course. It is not a wide open course. It's not a Northlink style course. You have to put your ball in position and play. Not every hole is take out your driver. You got to think about it. You have to use good course management skills. The greens will be fast. And hopefully from some of the courses we played with the last couple of weeks, our team will be prepared for a tighter course, faster greens, and decision-making play.
And then there's the weather. And you've seen it all already so far in the fall season, a little bit of rain. Haven't seen the white stuff yet. We're not slated to see any of that this weekend. But just talk about, especially within that course element, how the wind might kind of get involved and alter some of those scores over the 3 days.
Because it's in the valley, in the Mississippi River Valley, one of the things with the wind whipping through, and they're talking about the wind picking up on Saturday, you can get a lot of swirling. And when you've got a lot of high ball hitters, we've got a couple on our team, Crown has a couple on their team, can affect the ball coming up short or pushing it off to the right and not getting on the green. One thing we're going to work at over the next couple of days is trying to use more shots and creating more rope shots to go against the wind and help adjust for the conditions that are there, so we can take as few strokes as possible, Don.
And of course, the 3-day tournament itself, does that obviously a little bit of a nuance here? The guys are not necessarily used to the fact that over a 3-day period, you're going to have those ups and downs, those ebbs and flows. That's another element to test that these guys have not necessarily seen during the course of the regular season.
There's only twice where we played back-to-back tournament days, but I like to think, when our team has been out playing in 2 tournaments during during a week and having a number of practices that they are conditioned. They've been in the gym and they've worked out. And so I think they're ready to go physically and have the stamina to make it happen, because there's some hikes between some tees and greens at the course. And so, but I think they'll be ready to go.
All right.
I really do.
Very good. Well, again, it should be an interesting weekend tournament. We encourage you to check back with UMACathletics.com each and every day of the tournament for the overall individual results, as well as team play. And again, the winner of the tournament gets himself an automatic berth in the NCAA tournament in North Carolina in May. Daniel Mundahl, head men's coach here at Bethany Lutheran College, and I'm Don Westfall, director of athletics. We thank you for joining us on UMACathletics.com. And again, pay attention this weekend to the results coming from the Jewel in Lake City.